Hey angels, it's Rosalie, and for today's video I wanted to show you guys how I get like a flawless foundation routine. That's why I'm sitting here with just eyeshadow on and lashes. I know I look crazy, but I wanted to show you guys how I get like my most flawless foundation routine. I've kind of switched things up a little bit and I wanted to show you guys. I also wanted to tell you guys about some of my new favorite products. So I got 2 brushes and 2 sponges, but I'm just using one today from Beauty Junkees, and I'm so thankful that they sent these over. This video is actually sponsored by Beauty Junkees. I wanted to show you guys just how I get a flawless foundation routine, and since I use these products anyways, I thought I'd show you guys. So thank you so much to Beauty Junkees. I will link everything down below, all the products I use from them down below, so you guys can check them out. So I'm just gonna get right into it. Enough chit chat. The first thing I do is I always like wash my face, make sure my face is super clean. I also put on some serum, like some tightening serum. And next I am going to spray my face. I know that might be weird for some people, but I just like to refresh my face before I get into any foundation. So I'm using the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. So I go ahead and drench my entire face with that, and then I go into my SPF lotion. I use the Equate brand, but you can get like whatever brand you want. If it's during the day, I like to use SPF. If it's during the night, it doesn't really matter, but I still use it because I just really love this lotion. I put quite a lot of lotion on. I feel like people think that if you have like oily skin, you can't put any moisturizer on, but girl, you need to be moisturizing regardless. If you have dry skin, oily skin, combination, a little bit of both, you need to be using moisturizer. And I always forget my forehead, but it's super important for a flawless look to moisturize your forehead. For me at least, the most dry place on my skin is my forehead. It always gets super dry. You really need to just moisturize that. So next I have to like get rid of my pores because I got a lot, especially as I got older. I feel like I've been breaking out a lot more and just having a lot more pores. So I like to use like a putty primer. This is the _LF Poreless Putty Primer, but today I am going to be using the Makeup Revolution Poreless Perfecting Primer, which is like the same vibe. So I just take a little bit of that and I focus it in my areas that need to be primed, just like right in my T-zone area, like mainly near the nose, on the cheeks a little bit. So for a really glowy, dewy looking skin, very natural looking, I like to go in with like a more glowy primer as well. So this is the Makeup Revolution Fix and Flow Ultra Glow Primer, and I like to focus this like on the higher points of my cheeks and my chin and my forehead, trying to avoid like my nose area. And this just allows for a really glowy skin, and I feel like glowy skin looks so natural and pretty, and I end up looking super radiant and soft when I wear this. Okay, after I'm done looking like a glazed donut, now I'm gonna go in with foundation. For some reason I only have matte foundations, like literally all my foundations are matte, but I am going to get some dewy foundations after this. I don't know why I don't ever purchase them. I think I'm afraid, but I'm going to show you guys that you don't have to be afraid to look a little dewy even if you get oily. So I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation, and I'm using the shade 125. I don't even know if this is my shade or not, but I'm going to use it anyway. The most important thing when it comes to applying foundation is a good brush or a good sponge. I'm going to be using both, but I'm primarily going to be using this at first to apply it. I feel like brushes, especially this one from Beauty Junkees, really allow you to blend your foundation in a lot faster, and also you don't waste as much product as a sponge. So I'll show you guys how I do it. So I'm just going to apply the foundation. I just like to apply it with my fingers at first, so I kind of just dab foundation everywhere. So now using the brush, I am just going to blend in this foundation. I love this foundation because it's so cheap, but it also covers so well. Do you guys see how fast this brush blends out this foundation. I'm pretty sure this color is a little too light, but we will warm my face up with bronzer. Like, this brush literally leaves me with no streaks. I have a problem with brushes, foundation brushes. I really struggled with using foundation brushes before because they would always leave streaks on my face, but this one literally blends out so seamlessly. I try not to put too much foundation on my forehead. I've used other brushes and sponges, and I feel like sponges specifically just take away a lot of your foundation, but brushes literally work like magic. Like, it doesn't waste as much product. You're able to blend a lot quicker, and I just feel like it's an overall better experience, specifically with this brush, guys. I'm not even joking. This is such a good brush to use. Like, I'm in love with it. So after the foundation is completely blended out, I like to go in with the sponge and a little bit of setting spray just on the sponge, and I just like to really press in the product. This isn't to blend or anything, but this is just to really press in the product. I just like for it to look seamless, so I just go in with the sponge. See, there's barely any product coming out, but I just like to press it into the skin. This is actually the contour sponge from Beauty Junkees, but I like to use it for foundation, concealer, all of that. Pretty much you can use it for whatever. They also have the one that looks more like a beauty blender. This one has like the flat side. Now I'm gonna go in with concealer. You can use pretty much whatever concealer you want, but the first thing I am going to do is grab a concealer closer to my foundation shade, and I'm gonna use this tiny Kabuki brush from Beauty Junkees. So this is the mini flat top Kabuki brush, and I love to use these right near the eye because it just blends everything out so seamlessly, and it's like not so big. But I like to go in with like a shade pretty close to my foundation shade first, just to kind of set under the eye. Do you see how it kind of just lifts it a little bit? And then I'll go in with a lighter one in a second to kind of highlight. But this just kind of conceals everything. The same thing on the other side. Do you see how like small this is? It just literally fits right under my eye. I always have a problem with sponges and brushes under my eye because they're always way too big, but I still want to be able to blend out right under there. And this one is perfect for that. Okay, so after I blend that all out, I'm gonna use a lighter concealer. This is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Concealer. It's in a lighter shade, and I'm gonna just apply that right under the eye in the usual little triangle shape. And I'm actually gonna let this sit for a little bit. I don't know how to explain this, but it works so well. It allows it to like kind of just stick to the skin a lot better. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna allow it to sit there for like 45 to 30 seconds. While that's sitting there, I'm gonna take that same concealer from earlier, and like anywhere that I have a little bit of breakouts or just areas that need a little extra coverage, I'm gonna go in with that concealer and kind of blend those out just to give that flawless face look. And by the way, I'm using the lightest amount of product because you don't want it to feel too cakey. Like, a flawless foundation routine doesn't have to have cakey foundation, so I just like to go in with like very minimal amounts of concealer and foundation and just blend it out, buff it out. I've learned a little bit goes a long way. I feel like in 2016 we were so used to just like piling on the foundation, and now I feel like everyone's learning to just use less makeup in general. So one trick that I'm going to show you guys is to get your little blending sponge, and I'm going to grab the same concealer as before, and I'm going to put a little bit on my hand before I blend out the concealer. And I'm going to grab the sponge, and with the little corner I'm just going to dip into the concealer on my hand, and then I'm gonna blend that out ever so lightly. Like, I want to still keep the pigment, so I don't want to blend it out too much, but I just want to buff out like the edges. And I learned this trick a while ago, and it's to put the concealer on your hand first and pick it up first, because sometimes a wet sponge will literally remove your makeup. So this just helps to like allow it to stay on. I honestly, once I learned this trick, I was like, I'm shook, because my concealer would always lift and now it like just stays on. Do you guys see that lifting going on there? I know I'm looking a little flat right now, and that's because I don't have any contour on, and contour really just changes your whole face. So I'm going in the same palette I used earlier. I don't think I mentioned what it was, but it's the 𝓈𝓊𝒔𝒆 like contour kit in the medium dark shades, and I'm gonna take like a nice brown shade, and I'm gonna use this little brush, and I am actually going to go right above like where my cheekbones are. So you could do the little fishy face if you want and just kind of figure out where that is. For me, I'm gonna go right above it. You don't want to drag your face down, you want to lift it up. So I'm going right above it and blending that out, and I'm going super light. I'm not adding too much, and I'm using the little brush for now to kind of buff it out, but I am gonna go back in with the sponge in a second. But this just helps me get it exactly where I want it to be. And then taking the sponge, and I'm just going to blend that out again really lightly. Like, I don't want to get rid of the color, just want it to kind of look airbrush. I'm also going to take the brush and I'm going to contour my nose just a tad bit with this brush. I'm going to contour with powder as well, but I just want to take a little bit of cream contour, just kind of contour that out, kind of just keep it like right in that little ball area of your nose. I like to just embrace that and just make it a little skinnier. And then going back in with this sponge. The sponge literally is magic, but I just go in and just buff it out literally so lightly, and it still keeps the contour, but it looks so blended. Okay, so here is the face. I am going to spray again. I love spraying my face like a bunch when I am doing my flawless foundation routine, because I feel like it just sets it so well. I do soak it a lot, so I'm just gonna let that dry off a little bit before I do anything else. And I also spray my brush and just go back in one more time and really press everything in, not blending it out or doing anything crazy, but just buffing it into the skin so it sits super seamlessly. So the next step is going to be to set, especially under my eyes, because I just get like wrinkles under there. But I like to go in with my Laura Mercier setting powder. This loose setting powder has changed my life. I bought it a while ago and I was always so scared to buy it because I felt like it was expensive. I was like, all setting powders are the same, but this one literally changed my life. Going back in with the sponge, I am going to use this flat side, and I'm going to take some powder, and I'm not necessarily baking with it, but I am going to set under my eye. By the way, I did blend out the concealer one more time just to make sure there was no creasing, but I'm just going to take that powder, and do you see how I like almost baked under the eye? Well, now taking the other side, I am just going to press it in. I feel like this gives the best and most flawless under eye when I just kind of like push the product into my skin. So I'm gonna set the other side. I love this sponge, how it has the flat top, because it's perfect for right under the eye, and then the other side is good to just press it into the skin. I also like to press it into the chin and forehead, basically anywhere where I would get really oily. So for the rest of the face, I like to go in with more of a dewy powder. So I'm still going to use the Laura Mercier powder, but I'm also going to use this Essence Pure Nude highlighter. This is also the highlighter I'm going to be using today, but I love to use this powder. It's just like a very luminous highlighter. It's nothing too crazy. I like to take it on a sponge, just kind of like wipe it like this, and then take setting powder. So get my setting powder, also pile it up on the sponge where I have the highlighter, and I like to press that into the skin, and that literally gives me such a glowy look. I've literally been doing this for a while when I want like a glowy foundation look, and it's one of my favorite little hacks. It kind of gives you that like glow from within look. This sponge is literally so versatile. Okay, so that is basically everything for the foundation, the powder. Now I'm gonna do bronzing, highlighting, blush. I'm gonna go in with the NARS Laguna bronzer, and I'm gonna just bronze up the face, basically in the areas that I contoured. I'm trying to stay away from like this area because that's where like all my pores are. I'm also going to contour my nose with this bronzer. I just take my little brush and I do it basically in the same spots that I put the cream contour. So I go down the sides of the nose. I don't like it to be too skinny so it doesn't look crazy, but I take it all the way down. I love to do the little circle, the little boop right here. Kind of create that little boop. Now this is where I actually bake, so I'm going to take a little bit of powder on the pointy side of the sponge, and I just kind of bring it down the side of my nose. And then I also bake right under the contour from earlier. Okay, so while I'm baking, I'm going to go in with blush. This is the It by Pores blush in Naturally Pretty. And I'm just going to take that on the apples of my cheeks, kind of bring it up towards my temples. And I'm going to take that same highlighter I used before and just focus it right here. Try to avoid like the apples of my cheeks. So I'm going to also show you guys my newest lip combo. So this is the NYX lip liner in Nude Truffle, and then I put the NYX Lingerie XXL lipstick in Turn On. This is my favorite lipstick right now. It is bomb.com. I just line my lips, and yes, I overline. I always said that I wasn't gonna get like actual lip filler, but I might spoil myself one day. So if you see me having lip filler, mind your business. And now I'm just gonna blend out the bake. And then one last time, I'm gonna use my setting spray. And I'm going to grab my sponge again and just really press it all in. Not blending out, just pressing. And this is how I get my flawless foundation. I love it so much. I hope this routine helped you guys get the best flawless foundation. Literally lasts me all day. The only products I ever take with me is lipstick and lip liner. I do want to start carrying a little makeup bag with me, but that's besides the point. And I want to thank Beauty Junkees again for sponsoring this video. Literally saved my life with these products. Once I started using them, I'm never going back to anything else. I love these products so much. Like I said, all of their products will be linked down below in the description. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your guys' favorite foundations in the comments down below, especially dewy ones, because I am in the market for a dewy foundation. Make sure, if you're not already, please subscribe and also put on the post notification bell. I never say this in any of my videos because honestly you guys are like my friends and I don't see you guys as like numbers or anything, but it really helps my channel out to see if you guys even like my videos. Put the bell notification, check out my videos that you haven't seen, and let me know what you guys want to see in the future. I might be doing a few more makeup videos because I miss doing makeup. I used to do it all the time and I kind of lost my love for it. I have a haul of Ulta stuff coming really soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. With peace and love, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.